Thank you. All right. Thank you. Now, I have to admit that I've actually met that guy before. It's true. That was a couple of years ago, and he had the same line. He needs to update his material.
You cannot sit back and wait for a savior. You can't opt out because you don't feel sufficiently inspired by this or that particular candidate. This is not a rock concert. This is not Coachella. We don't need a Messiah. All we need are decent, honest, hard-working people who are accountable and who have America's best interests at heart.
I believe that gay couples deserve the same legal rights as every other couple in this country. You should never have to look over your shoulder to be gay in the United States of America. I issued an order so that any hospital in America that accepts Medicare or Medicaid, and that means just about every hospital, has to treat gay partners just as they do straight partners, because nobody should have to produce a legal contract to hold the hand of the person that they love.
People would ask me, knowing what you know now, do you wish like you had a third term? And I used to say, you know what, if I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony. Wow. I'd be fine with that because I found the work fascinating. I mean, I write about the
engagement with President Obama. They are not just former colleagues, I guess you call them, as president and vice president, but they are also remain close friends, and they talk regularly about a range of issues, from policy issues to bouncing ideas off of each other to their families. So they are in close touch, but we just don't read out those specific calls. We keep them private.
Just to follow up on your answer there regarding former President Obama, because you said they are in touch fairly regularly. Mm-hmm. Can you more clearly define fairly regularly?
No, that would be violating their friendship.
Okay. Is it fair to say he is...
The privacy of their friendship, I should say.
Is he fairly regularly in touch with any other former president?
I would say he is the president he's most former president he's most frequently in touch with.
Are we talking a few times a week? A few times a month?
I'm not going to give it a more define. I'm not going to define it more, other than to say that they engage not just about important moments in our country, but also about their own families. They have a connection on a personal level, so they discuss a range of issues when they...
Doesn't work if you constantly demonize each other. And I mean that literally, by the way. I was reading the other day, there's a guy on the radio who apparently Trump's on his show frequently. He said, me and Hillary are demons. Said we smell like sulfur. Ain't that something? Now, I mean, come on, people. Democracy does not work if you just say stuff like that. And apparently there are people who believe that stuff. And they're listening to it constantly. And you can't have leaders who are promoting that, because what happens then is we get so divided and people are so angry at each other that then nothing gets done.
Seeing the fullest implementation, Alex, of the complete destruction from within. Everybody who's in, let's call him the Lord of the Flies, is the Lord of the Flies administration is bent on.
Ooh, that's a good name for it.
Yeah, let's use that, because you asked me the question, and let me share this too. When you're in the world of evil spirits and true biblical deliverance, the evil spirits that come out always have, seriously, a smell of sulfur, and it's fascinating, or a smell of feces. Let's just be blunt. So what I find is fascinating that in so many instances of Bohemian Grove, you're told what the people do. All this stuff, it's all centered around that which.
Oh, I was asking earlier, in Skull and Bones, they're worshiping angels. They believe we're giving
fallen angels.
Fallen angels. They believe angels, eulogia, goddesses, but they do it in big pools of feces.
Global elite, besides being Luciferians, besides being some of the most horrific entities on earth. When I use the word entity, by the way, Alex, I mean something that's not human, okay? I want to make that clear. Or someone who has submitted their humanity to total demon possession.
Why do you think Obama always has little flies landing on him?
Well, can I tell you something? Michelle Obama, and you should have your guys look this up, was talking about his odor, okay? Now, I'll tell you why. Beelzebub in the New Testament means Lord of the Flies, okay? Lord of the Flies. So Beelzebub is another name for who? Satan.
Well, I mean, it's amazing, though. Almost everywhere he goes, there's just flies all over the place. Well, and the media makes a joke out of that. It's true.
If you were Son of God, command that this stone becomes bread.
Man shall not live by bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God.